Well, welcome back to another Owatonna Wrestling Weekly podcast, season 3, but the first one of 2024.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Coach. Hope everyone had a safe and pleasant holiday season there. Pretty mild one, at least, other than like 1 day of ice, basically.
That wasn't even bad.
No. So before we delve in, though, I just want to thank our podcast sponsor, Summer Media Solutions, Mr. Scott Summer. I'm not just saying this because he's in the room. He is one of the best audio-visual, creative marketing types out there and does wonders for our brand with the Owatonna Wrestling Association. Everything you see, the cool recap videos that we actually got to play here on the big scoreboards at our home meet. He does all of that. He's so diligent, never sleeps, subsists merely on caffeine and enthusiasm. But Summer Media Solutions for drone photography, videography, does a lot of work with real estate, that market, things like that. So just want to thank him for everything he does for us. Well, okay, so we record on Mondays, and the last couple of Mondays have been Christmas and New Year's. So a few weeks off. However, we did do some wrestling in there. So kind of recapping a few Wednesdays ago to start off with, on December 20th, we went up to Chanhassen, which on paper was going to be a pretty robust quad up there because St. Francis is a tough squad. They're in the lean and mean. Minnetonka has a few ranked kids, and they're always pretty strong and everything like that. And then Chaska-Chan, about our same level, just came off of a win against Winona, who was number 7 ranked at the time.
Okay.
However, St. Francis and Minnetonka both got hit really hard with illness and were down to almost nothing. I mean, it was like, I'm surprised. And both coaches were just like, this is kind of our JV and everything. So when you see the scores, like, St. Francis is lean and mean, and we beat him by 64 points. But they didn't have the Charmoli brothers. They didn't have their 189 ranked kid. Really took a hit there. So honestly, the home meet, which was the second duel against Chaska-Chan, was kind of the big hitter. So in front of their home crowd, we went out there and won 32-30, and exciting all the way because it was almost all bonus points for both teams back and forth. For us, I would say really there was only one match where we gave up bonus points where we shouldn't have. The other ones were just kind of, overpowered. Okay. But otherwise, we did a good job. Started off with number 9, Kaden Lindquist. Came from behind on a kid who's just outside the rankings, really athletic, super fast kid. Came from behind, got the win there. And then 114, Jacob Wilson, good to see him healthy again, back from concussion protocol. He went out and took care of business, got the fall. Donnie went against a really good up-and-coming freshman from Chaska-Chan that we see at a lot of tournaments. And same thing, got taken down right away. Donnie came back and stuck him in a half.
Okay, well, hey.
And was on his way, too. Halfway through the second period, and it was one of the most mature matches I've ever seen Donnie wrestle as far as between the years. Good. So that was awesome to see, and he knew it too. He was proud of himself, and he should have been, because he was in better shape and just stayed calm, stayed true to it, didn't do anything desperate, and just grinded him down for the fall.
And did a basic move.
Yes.
Didn't have to do nothing fancy with it.
And it was great because he was doing kind of spiral claw ride just to get the weight on the hands, and then quickly switch to the half and wrist right from there. Didn't need to pound a half. Yeah, it was just like boom with the side of his head. So that was awesome. And then Karsten had the marquee match. So at the time, Chaska's kid was number 7 ranked, Steven Dragos at 127, and Lane was number 10 ranked at 127. Both are now not in the rankings anymore, which is super cool. They basically just ranked everything based on how people did at the Christmas tournament and Rumble at the Red, which we weren't at.
Okay.
And then, so some people got kind of bumped out. Yeah.
Okay.
But Lane, same thing, gave up a takedown right away, got back into the match, and honestly, probably would have made the kid puke in the second period if
stuck it to him.
Yeah, he destroyed and was on his way to a major and just killed him in front of his home crowd, a senior. So that was awesome. Hiatt took care of business. Kreeger was the other one, a sophomore 152 for us, and Riley is if you see him out there, he's got to be like 8'2", like really tall, 152-pounder, but lifted really hard all off season. He's part of the Black Shirt Club, and finally utilizing his length as he should. He's a spidery type of wrestler, and same thing with him. He didn't panic. He's kind of an all or nothing kid traditionally, like how he was looking last year, where he was either going to get the pin or get pinned.
Okay.
Because he's got some funk to him. He's pretty dangerous. This was a match where he ended up getting the pin, but he just chipped away, and then got the pin. So that was good for him too. And then some team point saving stuff. Carter Flatland, our sophomore 160, went against their number 6 ranked senior, and actually got a reversal. Like, he started chipping away at that lead, little too late, but gassed the kid, which was cool to see. And even we got a stall call, even though after his reversal, the kid looked passed out on the mat, wouldn't move, but we were parallel. So now they're calling that really, really quick, and it's like, well, his face isn't even up right now.
Yeah, his head's not up. You got to get your head off.
So he looked like he was sleeping. And then RJ went against a ranked kid and threw him twice in the last minute of the match to come back. RJ was a little sloppy period 1, and then had to really dig himself out, gave up some backs in the first period, and ended the match with the kid on his back, nearly had the fall. So, and that kid's ranked.
Okay.
Max Flemke went against their number 3 ranked 189, saved team points there. I think it was just a major. Blake Fitcher went out and secured the duel, basically put it out of reach. And then Grant Lauer actually gave their ranked heavyweight a good go until he got caught in the third period. So, but was toe-to-toe with him. I think it was like a 2 or 3 point match at the time. So we looked tough. We were all really proud of the way that we performed, especially against a team like that. And it was a good way to kind of head into the Christmas break on a high note.
So are they? We'll go on with the girls first.
Yeah, and then so there was the first ever girls Christmas individual tournament up in Champlin, and we're going to be talking to number 6 ranked Isabelle Townley very shortly here, who took 3rd in that tournament, went 2-1 with the tech fall in there. And then our 8th grader Aliah Fischer took 1st of that tournament with 3 pins, all against St. Michael wrestlers. So I just wanted to put in there. Yeah, they were St. Michael wrestlers, guys. And she's number 5 ranked. Okay. Both of them are ranked a full weight class below, I think, where they're going to be at state. But still, they should be ranked in their actual weights too. So that was good to see. A really well-run tournament, and utter domination, basically.
Okay. So the question I was going to ask, now that we got that part, because now it's after Christmas and we're going to get back in. So how's the team looking for condition-wise? Did they survive the Christmas break with, because we didn't go to wrestle anywhere during the break. Did anybody? I mean, you don't need to call them out, but did they all stay in shape?
I'll name names here.
Okay. Did anybody get a little bit fat and happy and get a little out of control during Christmas?
No, it was a pleasant surprise. Of course, they're squirrely and get cabin fever as we practice over break. Yep. So I had to sprinkle in a few more games. Had to accommodate that. But no, the real test for us that we'll get into was kind of what we had this past Saturday, and they passed the test. The conditioning is still up to par. We didn't lose a step there. So.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because that's half the battle.
Right.
That is half the battle, staying in shape without actually having to compete.
Yeah, that discipline.
The discipline, because on Friday I have to be there. Well, I got 2 weeks. I can chill a little bit.
Yeah. And as we know in wrestling, I mean, you can lose that conditioning so fast.
Real fast.
Yeah.
Real fast.
Yeah, so last Friday night, we hosted Winona at home for our first ever duel under the lamp.
And that was my first varsity match I actually got to watch. And
nice.
I came to watch a JV, basically.
Yeah.
I made sure I was here for that one.
Right. Yep. So, Winona program's down so much. We tried expanding out to more teams. Not much of a carrot on the end of the stick to say it's us and then another team that only has 3 varsity wrestlers. But, so that was a little rough. But it was still cool to try out the new gym. The scoreboard, the lamp was down. Kind of a good precursor to how it's going to look when we have, East on January 18th and then Albert Lee at home February 1st is going to be crazy.
That's going to be a big one.
Yeah. Yeah. So
'cause that's junior high and JV. I mean, the junior high we wrestle up here before that.
yes.
And then, there's going to be a lot of people at that one.
Yeah,
That
that's gonna
normally probably, some junior high parents don't come to varsity matches, especially away matches, but if their kid's wrestling, I guarantee it, they're going to stay.
And look here, we have a parking lot that can accommodate a home Albert Lee duel.
Yes.
You're not parked 8 miles away on the street. So, that'll be pretty amazing. But, to get a dry run of the facilities and, how the audio visual, all that type of stuff. It was
kind of like a soft opening.
Yes, exactly. It was like a soft opening. So, took care of business there, and Riley Kreeger again. I'll just say because the poor kid has drawn the team captain for every single team, and as a sophomore 152, I mean that's some grown men he's going against.
Yeah.
And Winona was no exception, and yet he lost. I think it was 6-4, and had the kid in a spladle, and there's probably some backs, that should have been called. He's showing a lot of maturity, and it's just kind of the luck of the draw for him right now. But it was still cool to see RJ lit it up with some fireworks. Kaden Lindquist took care of business as he does. And then, honestly, it was cool to see, too, a lot of the JV. I mean, what did we win? 54-11 with we went out of order so that because they didn't have a full JV lineup either. So we got some good exhibitions in there. But people got to see, like Michaela Sell and Lucinda Ornelas, a few of our female wrestlers that maybe don't get to, have the fanfare that like Isabelle and Aliah do.
Yep.
Because they're not at that level yet,
Yep.
but up-and-comers. So that was really cool to see, too, and I know they were really proud of themselves. They got to wear the pin hat.
Yep. I got to see the smiles on their faces. I mean, I was standing up top, and they both looked up and had to show me. I was like, good for you. That's a good accomplishment. And, in front of everybody, too.
Yep, that was pretty cool. So good silver lining there. And then, we went to the St. Paul Harding duels on Saturday, and we drew Minneapolis North and then Spectrum Academy for our first two duels, which, I mean, we came close to not losing a match in either of those two.
Yeah, looking at the scores.
Yeah, we looked really impressive, like really crisp, and got a lot of compliments from their coaching staffs, too. Because, like, the North kids, athletically crazy, like so athletic, and yet didn't have crisp technique, so it was like weathering the storm and hitting our good counters and just staying true to what we do, and racked up a lot of pins and tech falls.
Okay, good.
And then for the finals, we had South St. Paul, who is a plucky team. They are very strong all the way through. A lot of seniors on that squad. This was kind of their all-in year, and last year it came down to Max Flemke at 225, sealing it with only a decision loss to their team captain. This year, I was half joking, but not really. Peyton Gleasing, so Riley Kreeger gets injured, second duel of the day, and Peyton Gleasing comes in. We pulled him from the JV tournament where he just won JV, switches his singlet, comes out for varsity, and blast doubles a kid 4 or 5 times. Awesome. Just it was cool to see that maturity and how different he looks. Now that he's spent some time back down at JV, kind of threw him down to the minors to kind of work on some stuff after the beginning of the season, and looking so good. He's a junior, hasn't wrestled his whole life, so he's got the will, he's got the strength, he's got the athleticism, and it's just kind of that mat time and experience. And for him to get a major decision and actually have the kid on his back going for a pin, that did mathematically seal it for us. So that's cool.
And then also going from winning that high of JV and then all of a sudden winning a tournament, you wrestled a full tournament.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get the call and, hey, you're coming to varsity. You're not mentally prepared for that at all.
Right.
I that happened to me once from experience. I was down on JV trying to get, back into it when I was younger. And all of a sudden I'm on the bus, and all of a sudden I'm walking off the bus in my street clothes going into Apple Valley, and Coach Davis goes, hey, go get your stuff. You're wrestling varsity. I'm like, I'm holding a Subway sandwich.
Apple Valley?
It was a tournament. It was an Apple Valley tournament.
Sure.
And it was against Simley.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was just like mind blowing. It was like, I'm holding a sandwich. I'm not in any mental stage to even wrestle. So I know what he's going. It's a culture shock.
Right.
So
right.
But good for him.
Yeah, that was cool to see. Really, but that was the duel that I was referencing earlier, where we tested our condition and passed with flying colors. I mean,
so St. Paul, a little sneaky good. I mean,
they are. They have like two or three ranked kids, and they're AA. And so, which I find weird that any Metro team is in AA, but they all are right now. So yeah, they are very athletically like strong and solid, and it was cool to see because being up at Harding, they had an equal size crowd that we did, more than the home team, and so they were loud and abrasive and belligerent, and we got to beat them pretty handily.
Yeah,
it felt
good.
So, yeah.
So the ones undefeated that day, Kaden Lindquist, Jacob Wilson, Donoven Sorenson, and Lane Karsten.
Yep, and Jaden Jurley.
Oh,
yep, we
got more on the back. There we go.
So if you're paying attention, that's our first 5 weights.
Yep.
So that's definitely one of our strengths of our lineup. And then, Gleasing, RJ, Logan Risser. We're testing out his ankle. He's the same weight as RJ, and so just in case we need to kind of do a bump up type of lineup scenario, and he looked crisp. And then Max and Blake took care of business too. So
good.
On the JV side. Well, you want to read off those names of the champions?
The first place, Isabelle Townley, Jace Fearing, Michaela, how do you say her last name? Sell.
Yep.
Trevor Townley, brother-sister combo there. I bet you she's really happy about that one.
Aww.
As she's staring at us. Nathan Gronley, Logan Petrowski, Wyatt Fantessel, and Charlie Sikora all went first place at the JV side.
Yeah, so that was cool. Mentioning that name again, Michaela Sell, she's I think she's been doing MMA for like 4 or 5 years, and so this is her first year wrestling, and picking up on it, the hip fluidity, things like that, and just the overall toughness too.
Yeah.
It's an easy transition.
Yep,
so.
when she came into captain's practice, she was asking me questions. I'm like, she goes, because I was, I'm first year wrestling. I didn't want to throw her out there. She's like, I've rolled with 30-year-old men, and so I'm not afraid. I'm like, huh? Yeah. And she's like, I did MMA, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, what do you mean you fought 30-year-old? I was confused on it, and no, she was not afraid to step in with anybody, and the only thing I just had to tell her a couple times is, hey, we don't go to our back. We stay off the
Brazilian
back.
Jiu-Jitsu.
Yep, we're not fighting from our backs here. So,
right.
But it sounds like she's coming up. Progressing well.
Very fast.
Good.
So
Good.
Lucky to have her. Yeah. Well, and we were also at Eastview for a 9th grade annual tournament that Eastview puts on, and it's really well done and everything. And how'd we do there, Coach?
So Maple Grove, we lost. It says 34-43.
And they ended up winning the whole thing. Actually.
Okay, so that was our loss.
Yep.
Okay, so it was one of them brackets where you lose your first one.
That was our pool play.
Okay.
I believe was
okay,
Maple
pool
Grove,
play. Okay.
And then losing to Prior Lake.
Okay.
Yep.
So then Two Rivers, 146-30. Eastview, 49-21. Prior Lake, we lost 24-43, and we beat Farmington, which is good, 38-29. Out of all of them, me personally, that's the one I want to see us beaten.
Right.
The other ones, okay.
And that was for 5th place. So we ended up placing kind of right in the middle of the pack, but ahead of teams like Hastings.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see.
That's good. That's a good thing to place against them teams.
Right.
So
you see these kids every day on top of going to our competitions and everything. So just to kind of give you an idea of what the lineup was like. So we had Miles Ozzie come up. We had Reeve Franco, Gabe Robb, Xavier Traeger.
Okay, so the first 3 you just said, outstanding wrestlers in our room. They work hard. Sometimes there's one of them that hey, come on, let's focus a little bit. And as soon as you say it, boom, he's right back into it. They practice hard.
Good.
Remember them 3 names.
Yeah.
And then Xavier, on top of that, he's still new.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this might be only his second or third year wrestling.
Yeah, second year, and then he wrestled like 1 year as a little kid.
Yeah, and then back then, you'd say, "Oh, I wrestled in second grade."
Right.
Well,
Did you?
Did you wrestle, or were we playing?
Right.
But
yeah.
no, he's coming along. He's a fighter, doing well in the middle school.
Yeah, and then we had Drake Johnson, and it skipped up to Will and Jaden Lake.
Okay.
So those were kind of the next three.
Yep. Same thing. Goers, Will and Drake constantly going at it in practice. Tonight, what we went over tonight, they were both looking at each other, and I had to tell them, I go, you guys ain't going to get hurt doing this move. Yes, it's going to hurt doing it, but you both have had it done to you in a match, and you both stood up afterwards. So let's practice. And yeah, they tonight in the middle school, there was a few ones going to be icing themselves tonight, but they all stuck through it, and I just, wrestling's not a weak man sport.
Right.
So,
right.
But no, them two bang heads constantly in the junior high, which is good. There's a big difference between some of the kids in there, and when you get with another kid, your complete ability, you have to go hard, and they do. So that's a good thing.
That's good. So yeah, Drake and Jaden Lake are both in year 2 or 3. Basically each of them. And then some little bit more lifers. We had Noah Calhoun was there. Well, Aliah and Lucinda.
Okay. They're freshmen though.
Aliah's an eighth grader, but they're in the varsity room.
Yeah,
so.
But we don't get to see her anymore down at our half.
No. But yeah, so they were in the lineup too, so I didn't want to miss them. And then so then Noah Calhoun, we sent Chase Grunwald.
Okay.
Who's progressed a lot. Talk a little bit about like Noah Calhoun, Travis Neitzel, and then Finn Buckley.
Okay, so them are our 3 big guys down in the junior high. They've been around for a while. Finn, I think maybe 4 years wrestling. He's the biggest one out of all.
Yeah.
I think with him, the only thing I think he's been so big his whole life, he's been always told, be nice. We need to get that out of his head, because as soon as that gets out of his head, I don't see anybody stopping him, because I think he weighs 215 as an eighth grader
and a tall one.
And he's 6'1", 6 foot as an eighth grader, and I see him down when we're lifting weights, and Noah too. Them kids are putting on weight and literally really lifting it. They're not just throwing on big weights and doing it once. They're doing big weights a lot in our little weight session, and it's a 20-second goal, and they're hoofing it out. So, and Travis Neitzel, he's another big guy. He knows his moves. He's just a little more confidence.
Yeah.
And when he knows he can do it, there ain't nobody stopping him. If he second guesses himself, then it's like, Travis, you can do it. So all 3 of them, they're going to be our upper weights if they grow. 2 of them grow a little taller. Yeah. I mean, and as looking at parents, they should get a little bit taller.
Yeah.
So there's our upper weights. So
I love what you've been doing at the OMS too. I mean, you guys are lifting 2 times a week.
We're actually, we stole it from the swim team, and we're doing it at least 3 times a week.
Nice.
So we're jumping in more any chance we get. Yeah. We take our 20 minutes to a half hour down there, and it's a quick, lighter weight, fast, workout that Coach Egermont that has programmed for us. So
an in-season circuit.
Yes. It's not. We're not building muscle right now. We're just using it.
And all the kids you mentioned were at our fall lifting, that we put on for grades 7 through 12. So that was good to see too. And it's going to reap benefits. I'm really excited about kind of that 7th through 9th grade range.
Yeah.
Because they may not all be marquee wrestlers right now, but they're all getting stronger ahead of the curve.
Yep.
And it's once the technique catches up with that and the mat time catches up with that, they're going to be dangerous.
And then there's a couple more down there that I would just want to mention their names.
Oh, sure.
One's a 6th grader and a 7th grader. Mason Sorenson.
Sure, yeah.
That coach, I don't know. It's Josh Sorensen's boy.
Coach Sorensen.
Sorensen. I didn't know if he was coach.
Down in the youth.
Okay, he's in the youth. Coach Sorensen's boy. Out of all the kids, you yell something, and he hits it.
Sure.
It's I haven't seen a kid like that in a long time where you could just yell it and it's just natural. He knows what you're yelling and boom, it's there.
Sure.
And it's like a lot of times when us coaches yell something, it's already passed and gone. It's basically a suggestion, hey, be looking for that. But no, you yell it, he'll catch it. Oh, okay. And then another up-and-coming one that has a motor on him. And I just want to give him props because he's already running marathons as a 7th grader and running them fast is Owen Flatland. His brother's
6th grader.
6th grader.
Yeah.
His brother is up on high school.
Carter, yeah.
But this kid, I can't break him.
Yeah.
I've tried it with sprints. I've tried. He just smiles and does it. It's like, well, if you're running marathons as a 6th grader, I can't. I'm not going to break your conditioning.
Yeah.
So, but no, that's another name to keep an eye on. Nice. So, but yeah, this week for junior high or for middle school, Thursday we have Faribault, Mankato East, and Shakopee coming. Yeah. And then on Saturday we go to our big the Coon Rapids tournament. That's a good, well-run tournament. A lot of kids there. They ain't going to see somebody most of the time. Yeah, Farmington will be there. Sure. We'll see a few, but they get to see other kids they normally don't get to see there, and it's a well-run tournament.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
We really enjoy going to that one.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a brief break here and then have our guest of honor on in just a minute, so stay right there. Well, welcome back to the Owatonna Wrestling Weekly podcast. We're here with our Wrestler of the Week, Isabelle Townley, and I submitted that based on not just what you did at Champlin, going 2-1 at the first girls' Christmas tournament and everything like that, but also how you've handled, I mean, basically all the JV work, the toughness you've shown when we've needed you to step in on boys varsity, and just kind of the utter domination. In fact, I was trying to get you to play with your food this weekend, actually work some takedowns before you just pin everybody right away. How'd that go for you?
Pretty good. I got a tech fall. One of my matches on Saturday, 16-0.
16-0. So, a lot of back points,
well,
huh?
yeah. How did you get a tech fall 16-0? Feet to back or takedown turns, tilts?
Takedown and turns, working different new stuff too.
Okay.
New stuff? What new stuff?
I did a little bit more with the
like cross wrist?
The butcher.
Oh, the butcher. Okay. Nice. Good deal. Good deal. Well, so you've been mentioned on this podcast several times over the last couple of years and on social media. You took 3rd at the first ever girls state tournament 2 years ago, getting revenge on your Apple Valley nemesis, which was awesome. First off, what was that like being a part of the first ever girls sections in state and everything like that? What a great time to be a freshman.
Yeah, that was pretty good timing being a freshman and being able to participate in the first ever sanctioned girls state, and it was pretty crazy being in front of all those people and in such a big area.
I bet.
And all eyes on you. How'd you take that? Because I mean, you're not the most loud vocal person unless it's against your brother, and I've seen and heard that. But how was that? Just having all eyes on you. Did that prepare you for anything that has already happened? Having all that just focus on you. Has that helped you out in anything, or does it make you even more nervous?
I wouldn't say it makes me more nervous, but it helped a little bit, especially with being bumped up to varsity a couple of times. There's a lot less eyes on you then than there was at state.
Okay.
Gotcha. So, how long have you been wrestling? I don't know if I've ever asked you that. When did you start?
3rd grade, so solid 9 years.
Okay. Was it, anything to do with Trevor, or did you get in before he did, or what?
I wanted to start his first year, but my dad didn't know much about the sport, so I had to wait 1 more year.
Okay.
And you're a very patient person, so I bet that went over well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and I mean, you're one of our like more involved wrestlers. So tell us a little bit about like what camps or what extra work you've put in over the years to kind of get where you are today. Like, what have you been doing?
The past few years, I've done a little bit of freestyle, and a couple years ago, I went to the Montana intensive camp.
Yep.
But I also stick with lifting, but then I also have to balance in work as well and making money.
Where do you work?
Taste the Big Apple.
Yeah, you do.
Where?
Taste the Big Apple.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm going to have to come in and get my pizzas now.
Yep. Yep. She's the bright smiley face there.
All right. So what? We already did this preseason. I was going to go with the postseason, but I'll let the other questions happen here first.
Sure.
Your goals this year. What do you have for yourself as a goal and for part of the team?
For myself, it's definitely going to state and being on the podium
Okay.
as high as possible.
Okay.
Probably top 3.
Top 1.
Top 1.
Yeah,
There we go. I was about to say, when you're doing circle drills, I'm yelling something at you, and I'm pretty sure it rhymes with mate mamp. So, got to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say be on the podium. I was going to say, aren't you supposed to be on top of the podium? You have it. You just got to go and get it.
Well, and so last year didn't end the way you wanted it to. What's kind of your mindset? Is that helping fuel you for this year?
Yes. I want state to go a lot better than it did last year. But I also I will have a tough bracket yet this year, and so preparing for that too and knowing what's ahead.
Sure.
I mean, state tournament. I mean, you say you're going to have a tough bracket there. State tournament. Every bracket's a tough bracket. I mean, it's state tournament. I mean, yeah, you could go in. I've seen people go in, have to wrestle the number one guy, beat the number one guy, and then lose their second round. And the number one person in the state who is undefeated, has one loss at the state tournament, is done. I mean, that state tournament ain't no joke, no matter who you are. So.
Yeah, well, okay. So with, I just want to explain, because I've seen some weird looks, and understandably, yes, I get it. If I call a wrestler face ripper, it kind of turns some heads. Do you remember the exact moment and why?
The exact moment.
You were in sections first year and coming off of a frustrating loss.
Yeah.
Very frustrating loss
Valley.
against Apple Valley, and then miraculously worked your way back in for a true second. And how did that match go?
I believe I won by pin.
You did, because she kept going headlock, and you, like, the words coming out of her mouth, I can't repeat on here. As you were warming up, though, it was just like the look on your face was, I wouldn't want to be in her way right now. And it was like, you look like you're going to rip faces off. And you just go, I'm going to rip faces off. I'm like, okay, face ripper, great. So that's the thing with you, is it's like some wrestlers you don't want to like tick off because maybe they get sloppy or whatever. But with you, it's like, man, you can strike that right balance of like being so jacked and ready and kind of angry, but you don't make mistakes. Like that's not a prescription for every wrestler. And so I think that's just so cool that like sweet Isabelle can all of a sudden get so ticked off and then wrestle sharp and fast.
So a lot of times people, when they get mad, they, like you said, get sloppy, get out of control, going too hard, and lose control.
So if someone is asking, how does Isabelle Townley wrestle, what's like go-tos on your feet? Like, what are they going to see?
Sweep singles, one snap down.
Yep.
Defending headlocks.
Yeah.
I don't get thrown in headlocks anymore.
You don't anymore, no. How about on top, which is where I love to see you work? What's your specialties?
Arm armbar, half, recently a butcher as well. I've started working on the near side cradle too.
Good.
I got a couple of those in this week.
Good.
Yeah, really those.
Gotcha. Nice.
Okay. So now, future question. Do you have plans to continue wrestling after high school? Is that even in the books, or is that an idea, or is that a goal, or is senior year your last year?
It's an idea,
Okay.
but I also not 100% positive if I'm going to college.
Okay.
I might go straight into the military or firefighting.
Wrestling's going to help you in both of them.
Right, yeah.
Wrestling will help you in both of them. So yes, that is kind of pursuing
Sure.
the same path.
Well
okay.
disciplined and
Yeah.
very regimented and
Yep.
tough as nails. Yeah. All right.
All right. Do you have any plans this summer of wrestling any kind of freestyle with some of the other ladies in the program?
Yes,
Okay,
I do
good.
plan on sticking to freestyle this year.
Good, because that's only going to make you better for next year.
Yeah. I think
All
we're going
right.
to have a good
I
concerted
was
effort
waiting
there.
for that commitment. I think I'm going to get that in writing.
Yep. Let's get a pen. Let's get a pen. Nice. Well, thank you so much. I just want to say, like, you're a consummate professional in the wrestling room. Great leader to have. Great culture. You know, I call you guys kind of like the military police, where it's not like the general coming down on people. You guys self-govern. Little military reference there. And you're one of those that really keeps people on track and keeps the behavior aligned with our morals and everything like that. And I appreciate that too. But before we go, any shout outs you want to give here?
Like to a boyfriend.
No.
To a brother.
No.
Okay.
Oh,
Mom or
definitely.
dad?
Deserve it. Mom and dad, for sure. They always show up to as many meets as they can, and they're number one supporters.
Yeah. You want to say their names?
Jeremy and Amy Townley.
Jeremy and Amy Townley. Thank you. Thank you for lending us your daughter.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Awesome. Well, before we go, real quick thing. We still got a gun raffle going.
Oh, yes. The OWA is putting on a gun raffle. There is 5 or 6 guns being raffled off on January 18th. There's still tickets available, $20 a ticket. Find a coach, board member, talk to any parents. I'm sure they can send you the way, or contact me on somehow. I have a stack of them still that I'm still selling. The more we sell, the better off it'll be for the wrestling program. So
Yeah. Well, and keep your eyes peeled on social media too. So we got that. I believe we have our pancake breakfast
Yep, on Sunday.
this Sunday, the
the
14th
Eagles.
at the Eagles. So it's still tickets available there too.
I will be down there selling raffle tickets,
Oh, okay, nice.
eating pancakes.
And then on top of all of this, keep your eyes peeled too. We do our Big Brothers Big Sisters event for your littles that don't have bigs yet, that are on the waiting list and everything like that. We do that as a high school team at the bowling alley 2 weeks from tomorrow. So just a little something to mention, because we like giving back to the community and things like that. And then we're also at one of our home meets, still deciding on which one and the logistics of it. We're going to have a wrestling shoe donation program of, we keep a pretty good sized tub of used wrestling shoes. We would appreciate new too, for the little kids in the program that may not be able to afford any. We like to go to great lengths to kind of help out our own community. And so look for that too, because we're probably going to have a contest related to that at one of our home meets coming up. So,
And also, I was contacted, Hy-Vee.
yes.
I know wrestlers and what we're going to do with Hy-Vee for a
Right.
donation. From what I gathered so far, I haven't heard all of it, but a cookie sale.
Yep.
Every pack of 12 of the Hy-Vee cookies.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Yep. Any kind of cookies, a pack of 12. Every pack bought, they will be donating a portion of that pack to the Youth Wrestling Club.
For the remainder of January, I believe it is.
I think it's from the 8th until the end of January.
Yep.
So go out and buy some cookies at Hy-Vee.
Treat yourself.
And I think I might even be having some junior high kids up there on an off day
selling
sweet.
them. So
good
we're just
deal.
going to go up and help them sell, just have them stand at the door and sell cookies.
Awesome. Well, much appreciated. Thanks again to all our sponsors from the OWA. Thank you to Scott Summer of Summer Media Solutions for sponsoring this podcast and all you do for us too. And
Thanks for Isabelle for showing up tonight.
yeah, awesome. Well, take care and we'll talk to you next week.
See ya.